Welcome back to Conference USA Basketball Media Day, and once again we turn our attention to the men's side. And joining us, 3 new coaches to Conference USA and 1 standby. First of all, to my far right in his at Louisiana Tech, he's the head basketball coach, Michael White. Michael, good to have you here today, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
Head coach at Marshall, has been in Conference USA for a while, Tom Harrion. And also joining us, Kermit Davis. He is also coming into Conference USA for the first time. And Kermit, good to be with us, Middle Tennessee. And my old friend Tony Bedford, head coach at North Texas. Michael, we're going to start with you. We'll go around here, and then we'll try to get some questions for everybody at the end. Terrific year last year. WAC championship, top 25, great win versus Florida State in the NIT. How do you build on that?
We got to take the next step, and that's to finish the ultimate goal, and that's to find a way in the NCAA tournament somehow. We need to capitalize that way. We need to find different ways where we can get better in smaller areas that you may not think about every day, and then some of the obvious areas, and that's some of our offensive inefficiencies at times.
Now, you came from an assistant at Ole Miss, and I've covered a lot of Ole Miss games, know the head coach there. What did you draw from him, from Andy?
Oh, a ton of stuff. It's I wouldn't just be able to bring up 2 or 3 things off the top of my head. Working with Andy every day, who's a very bright guy who's got a ton of passion, an unbelievable communicator with young men, great motivator, just really, I guess, drawing on most of the things he said in the office, in practice, but things that are a little bit harder to point out, I guess. But he's very, very good. He was able to break through last year and did a terrific job, had an unbelievable year at Ole Miss, got to the NCAA tournament.
Let's go back to last year. It'll be the last, last question about last year. 18-game win streak.
Yeah.
Things were rolling. Then you stumbled.
Yep.
It was 4 or 5. What happened?
Had a tough finish. That was obvious. Some of it was simply the schedule. We played at probably the best 2 teams in our league. We played in their arenas to finish the regular season, and struggled against 2 good teams on their home courts, and then went into the conference tournament and played a team in Brooks Thompson and Texas San Antonio that we've been fortunate to beat a couple times, and they had a great game plan versus and played better than us that night, and we were out. It was a tough finish, but then I was proud of the way that our guys responded by coming up with a huge road win for us. It was a big win for our program to win at an ACC school in the opening round of the NIT before Donnie knocked us out at Southern Miss.
You have 11 returning players from last season. Considering what you just went through and the NIT and all of that, the expectations are high.
Yep.
These 11 players, they know what it takes now, don't they?
They should. I hope so. I guess that what we're trying to avoid at this point is entitlement and thinking that things are going to be easy, because I'm not sure we had a pretty win last year. We were able to. We're probably the ugliest 27-win team in NCAA basketball history. Nothing's going to be easy, and now we're in a tougher league with an unbelievable lineup of head coaches and talent. A league that we're going to have to learn. We're going into this thing blind like everyone else. But that said, with 9 of 10 returning scorers, 9 of our 10 top scorers returning, if our goal isn't the NCAA tournament every day, then we're selling ourselves short. Does that mean we're going? I wouldn't say that. But if we're not aiming for it, we're wasting time.
Raheem Appleby, only player in double figures last year for you. What does he have to do to improve his game?
He's done it so far in practice. He's trying to make his teammates better. He's become a better passer. He's bought into being a better rebounder, better defender. But from day one, when he stepped foot on campus at 6'3", 139 pounds, he's been an unbelievable natural scorer. He can just go get baskets.
Speedy Smith. You always have to have a good point guard.
Yeah.
Have you challenged him this year to take it up another notch?
Definitely, and he challenges me. He's a fiery guy. We had a little spat in practice yesterday, and we welcome that at times. But Speedy's a kid that's our engine defensively. He creates havoc in press in the half court defensively, and offensively, I think he's one of the best passers in the country, if not the best passer. I'm a little biased. He's my kid. He has his deficiencies like everyone else on our roster, but he's an unbelievable passer. Makes everyone around him better.
You mentioned Southern Miss, January the 19th. Payback time, huh?
I wouldn't say that. I just hope down the stretch, we have a chance. Donnie's done a great job, as these guys do. Hopefully we're a little bit better this time. Hopefully they're not as good.
Expectations coming into Conference USA. We've been joking with all the coaches. Your ops guys are going crazy probably right about now trying to find hotels and all that other stuff.
That's right.
But from an X&O standpoint, how much more challenging is it this year for you?
I think we're all going to be tested. Our staffs are really going to be tested, our SIDs. But from a scouting perspective, my goodness, I mean, we don't have any repeats. I guess we have one repeat, right, fellas?
Mm-hmm.
Hard for me to figure out.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a lot of film and a lot of talking, in preparation for a new team, every other night.
Michael, best of luck. Welcome to Conference USA.
Thank
my
you.
friend.
Thank
Look
you.
forward to seeing you. Tom Herron, the head coach at Marshall. One starter coming back. Can that be a good thing?
Oh, there's no doubt. We're excited about and energized by the changes that we made in our personnel, and I think changes reflects our conference. So it's been a lot of turnover, but in a very positive, healthy manner. I don't think I've been as energized about a group of guys as I have with this team. And we're still very young. We don't have a lot of experience. At times we've looked like Bambi on ice out there, but we've got a good core of guys that really are bought into what we're trying to accomplish and restore our great tradition.
With that in mind, it's good to have a trip in the summer when you've got a lot of new players. You go to Canada over the summer, 5-0. How important was that just to get those extra practices?
Well,
in?
it was critical for us, Ron. For any program to have the opportunity, these times financially, I give credit to our great administration, my athletic director, Mike Hamrick, for allowing that to happen. But it was beneficial. 10 days of practice for a group that was very inexperienced was very invaluable, and 5 opportunities to play. And I think these guys would concur when you have any team, but playing experience is playing experience.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter how many people are in the stands or what type of competition you're playing against. And we played against some good teams up in Canada, but it was a lot of other variables to that trip that I think have created a foundation for us to build on with this group. And again, this group's, I get so excited walking down our stairs into practice gym every day because of their attitude and their willingness to want to be a good team. Now we got a long way to go, but they've gotten off to a good start.
You mentioned building. Chemistry is so important, no matter what team, no matter what level you play on. Are you building that chemistry? Because at times, and I'll be honest with you, I don't think that the teams last year maybe had great chemistry.
Yeah, I think there were a lot of contributing factors to that. We played a lot of guys a position out of place. We had a guy that didn't get cleared right up to the first set of games, Kareem Canty, our point guard, who we thought was going to be an impact guy for us and probably start as a freshman last year. So we played everybody out of position and as coaches know, and there's no excuse, I didn't do a good enough job over the course of the season, but you're playing everybody out of position, one position, and it affected our chemistry on the floor. And obviously we didn't have enough success. And when you started to tailspin a little bit, which we did, we went sideways. And but I think we put a lot of corrective measures in from a personnel standpoint, from an attitude standpoint, and again, a group that really excites me.
One of the players that I've enjoyed watching, Elijah Pittman, great three-point percentage shooter. From a leadership standpoint, is he the guy that takes over one of the leadership roles?
He has to. He's a senior. He's one of 2. We got a fifth-year senior in Yus Mbao, transfer, who has played a little bit, been battling injuries, and so they have to embrace some leadership responsibilities. Elijah's a very talented young man, 6'8". He's a true small forward, great athlete, shoots the ball well. But we've had to challenge him to expand his game. He's got to rebound better for his position. Make better decisions, become a more committed defender. One thing he's done is he finally had a chance to be with us all spring, all summer. He's changed his body. I think he's put more into it in terms of working on his game and hopefully improving some of his weaknesses. But he's a guy I think that should be an exciting player in Conference USA.
One thing I liked when I called Marshall games, you had an incredible rebounder who's now gone. Who picks up the slack for Tinnen?
Well, Tinnen was special, and we do that from the day one. We recruited him out of junior college, and he had a great 2 years for us. He's playing overseas and doing very well. But I think it's more guys that spread the wealth a little bit, and we're still going to try to find some guys. But we think a kid like Ryan Taylor, who's a very talented player as a redshirt freshman, and Taekwon Gord, a transfer from Ohio University, amongst many other guys. We think we won't have one guy that averages 10 or 12, I don't think, but I think we can have a lot of guys that average 6 to 8.
One final question, your schedule. 12 teams finished in the top 125 of the RPI. Difficult schedule.
Well, no doubt. I mean, we said that from day one. We were going to play better teams when we got there. And our schedule, non-conference-wise, we had a great opportunity. We've got some quality teams on there in terms of playing at Vanderbilt, Penn State, South Carolina, really good teams. But then you got Western Kentucky and Arkansas State, two of the best teams in the Sun Belt coming in, and you can go on and on. And then when you talk about the changes in the conference, our conference is without any hesitation, unequivocally, is deeper and stronger than it has been since I've been in the conference.
No doubt about it, Tom. Good seeing you again, buddy.
too.
And we'll
Thanks,
get back to you in a second. Let's introduce one of the newest members of Conference USA, Kermit Davis, head coach in Middle Tennessee. 12th season at Middle Tennessee. Now you switch conferences. Does that kind of light a new fire underneath you?
You know, it's been a lot of talk, and it's not just been the last couple of years, Ron. Probably the last 7 or 8 years, there's been kind of a push for our school to get into Conference USA. So I think our fan base is excited. And as a head coach, we left a really good league, a very well-coached league in the Sun Belt. We're excited about going to different venues. Everybody asks me, what do we think the changes will be? Coaches is excellent. What I see is a bunch of coaches that really recruited well. But I think the home court advantages in the Conference USA is better than it is in the Sun Belt, so it'll be tougher on the road.
Well, you lose 3 starters for a team that went 28-6, 19-1 in the Sun Belt. You've got an NCAA tournament bid. How do you replace those 3 guys? And who isn't?
Yeah, it's really hard because we lost a lot of toughness. Kind of like Mike's teams, that we only had 1 guy averaging double figures, Marcos Knights. We played 11 guys. So the guys that we do have coming back all started at times, all played major minutes for our teams, and all probably could have had bigger numbers, but they played on a real unselfish team that played a lot of guys. So we'll have to do it by committee, and we'll kind of start with our point guard, Trentel Knight, and Kerry Hammonds and Sean Jones are all players that are going to have to play good for us this year.
6 players were within 2 points of each other as far as scoring. Kind of the sum of the parts, isn't it?
It is, and that's what made our team good. And the thing that we had was that we had a great locker room, no matter what happened, and our team took on that toughness and unselfish characteristic. It's what made our team good.
Now, you've won Sun Belt Conferences 3 out of the last 4 years. We always talk about expectations with all the coaches. It's more expectations now that the seniors know. They know what it's like, and it has filtered down. So the expectations in Middle Tennessee are high.
I think we all coach to create expectations, and we all embrace that. That we don't go out and beat our chest on it in our community, but that's what we all want to be. And so after 12 years, we do have high expectations. I think the season tickets are as high as they've ever been. We still got a lot of work ahead of us, but all that stuff we enjoy, and we know it's going to be really tough with a lot of new players trying to, accept some roles of these guys we lost.
Let's break down some of the players. Sean Jones, what do you expect from him this season?
He needs to be a more everyday player. He's as athletic as any frontline guy in our league. He's powerful, about 240 pounds. He has spectacular plays. We got to get him just to be an everyday, every play guy defensively and offensively, but he's had a really good preseason.
Is there one player that has surprised you early on?
A freshman, which Reggie Upshaw is probably the most talented freshman that we've ever had there. And he's about 6'7", about 225 pounds. He's really skilled. And as far as his new guys, he's got a chance to be a really good player in our league.
Your schedule, challenging?
It is. It's kind of what got us maybe at large last year. I think we played the 5th or 6th toughest non-conference schedule in college basketball. So it's a good blend, really tough. I think all the coaches in our league have done a really good job. We got to continue to schedule up, and win games in November and December.
Now, you're really no stranger to some Conference USA teams because last year you played 4 teams that were going to Conference USA. Is that sort of not a comfort factor, but a familiarity factor?
Well, I know that, and I think you look at Tony's team, he was just ravaged by injuries last year. I've never seen a team follow a team that got hurt like that. I mean, it was amazing, and so I think the other programs are going to come in and do very well. It's kind of worked out that we go to 2 North Texas, 2 FIU, and 2 FAU, which there'll be tough places to play, but we kind of welcome the newer teams to come into Murphy Center, maybe some teams that our fans haven't seen yet.
Best of luck to you. We'll be talking to you again. Now joining us, the head basketball coach of North Texas, Tony Benford, former great player in the Southwest Conference. He told me to say that.
I don't know about that.
Kermit was just talking about last year. Here you come into North Texas, it's all the excitement, and the injuries you had were incredible. What caused the perseverance? What helped you to persevere through all of last year?
Well, Ron, it was very difficult. We had a great player in Tony Mitchell, who's now in the NBA with excuse me, with the Detroit Pistons, and we lost our point guard. I think at Coach Davis' place at West Kentucky, Chris Jones. He missed 17 games, and at the first game of the year, we lost our starting two guards. So that was really tough. And what made it difficult was the floor really shrinked on us. We couldn't shoot the basketball. We were last in the Sun Belt in three-pointers made, and we led the league in turnovers and last in assists. So that's not a good recipe if you're trying to be successful. But our guys are healthy. We just try to get better every day, and I felt towards the end of the season we got better.
Somebody much smarter than me once said adversity sometimes breeds greatness. Did they learn from it last year?
Yeah, I think so. Our guys have worked extremely hard this summer. You know, Chris Jones, who I think is one of the better point guards in our league, and he's back. He's healthy. He's been a great leader for us on and off the court. Brandon Walden is the kid that we lost that made 55 three-pointers a year before. He's back. He's healthy, so he's a senior. And we've brought in some transfers that really has really, they came in and they brought some toughness to our program. A kid, Betrell Vaughn, who was at George Mason, been to the NCAA tournament. Kevin Gaines, who was at Cincinnati, Big 6'10", Active League. So those two guys are in grad school, and I've never coached a team that's had two kids that are in grad school that I've had the opportunity to coach. But those guys have, they got great character, and they're grown men. So they really kind of brought some toughness to our program.
6 new faces, though. Chemistry. It's so important to try to get everybody back together again. How important is what you're going through right now in the fall training to build that chemistry?
Well, that's always a challenge, Ron, but I think with some of the new rules that are in place, able to work with our guys in the summer, that's very beneficial for us. And I think with the early starts, that's helping us also. And we're also doing a lot of chemistry building exercises, team building exercises to try to help these guys develop some chemistry. But we have a great group of guys, guys with good character. And I think our chemistry right now, we have a lot of buy-in. We haven't played a game yet, and I haven't started playing guys and dishing out playing time yet, so that could change. But right now, our chemistry is pretty good.
Jordan Williams, tell me about him.
Jordan is probably one of the most, I thought he was the most improved player in Conference USA, in Sun Belt last year.
No, we got you programmed already. That's good. That's a good thing.
But Jordan is 6'7", local kid from Dallas. He's a junior now, but he's a guy that can play inside, outside, really shot the ball well from the three-point line, but he can also finish at the rim. I'm challenging him to become a more complete player. He's got to do a better job of rebounding for us and being a better defensive player for us, but he's a really good player.
And the guys have been working on their shooting, I would have to think.
Yeah. Well, I think we recruited some good. We got some guys. We had a guy, T.J. Taylor, who was I signed when I was at Marquette, and he joined me when I got the job. He ended up transferring back. So we got T.J. Taylor, Brandon Walden's back, and Betrell Vaughn, a kid from Cincinnati, can shoot the ball. So we've upgraded our shooting. I can tell you that.
How important is it? Dan McCarney and I talked about this, football coach for North Texas, of joining a conference like Conference USA for North Texas. You're in the backyard of Dallas, obviously. How important is it?
Oh, it's tremendous. We have 200,000 alumni here in the Metroplex, so for us, it's great. I mean, with the exposure we're going to get, playing on national, Fox and national TV, it's tremendous for us. Our fans in the Metroplex be able to come and watch us play, and it helps us recruiting-wise. We were very fortunate. I don't think if we were in Conference USA, we got a commitment. I can't say the kid's name, but from one of the best players in Dallas, just committed to us a couple of weeks ago. So the exposure that we're going to get in Conference USA, I think is going to be tremendous for us in the University of North Texas.
One final question before I do a little roundtable here. Do they know that you played?
I think some of them, but they look at me. I was a point guard in college, but now I look like a pulling guard, so I got to get in shape.
I was just, this is a great story when Shaq went up to Lenny Wilkins and said, "Did you ever play the game?" it was still one of the old-time funny stories. I'm going to ask you each the same question now, and Mike, we're going to start with you. And think about, this is going to be simple. If there's one thing you would change in the men's game right now to make it better, it can be on or off the court, it doesn't make any difference. Is there one thing that stands out that when you get together at the coaches' conventions, you say, you know what, we need to maybe revisit this? Is there one
I
thing?
probably don't have anything realistic. I'll give you something far-fetched. As much
Sure.
as I'm enjoying the early start date to practice and enjoying the 20 hours that we're getting, all 20.
All 20.
I'd like to have 20 hours all year, but that's far-fetched, obviously. It's nice to have our hands on them and to be able to help them progress on and off the court as much as possible. That's why they came to our places.
Tom.
I'd agree. I think not to really circle around your question, but the accessibility that they've given us now, I think, is beneficial to the growth and development of our programs and our student athletes. I would say we probably need to look at shortening the shot clock. I know it's a hot button topic, but I would say maybe get it to 30. Something that I think could help the game in some aspects.
It would increase offense, obviously. Kermit?
You know, on the court, maybe moving the line back to the international space, I think that would help maybe widen the game a little bit, would help us. And then from a recruiting point, I think our coaches have done a great job as far as kind of creating a better recruiting period for us. The contact period is more, gives us even more accessibility with the recruits, more guys out on the road. And I think you'll see us not making as many mistakes that'll just increase the quality of play, I think, because the recruiting rules will help.
Tony?
Well, I think some of the changes that have been made from the officiating stuff, from the ball screen coverage that they're going to allow you to do, I think it's going to open the game up. You know, it's not. I don't know if the game is going to be as physical. I think the scoring is going to increase this year. So I think the change that's already been made is going to really be beneficial to our game this coming season.
Gentlemen, welcome to Conference USA.
Thank you.
Todd, you got some new meat in the group here now.
Murderer's Row.
Murderers Row. Thank you, gentlemen. Best of luck to all four of you.
Thanks, Ron.
We'll be
Thanks,
back with
Ron.
more from Conference USA Media Day in a second.